Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. Today we're looking at the void. The void is The void is an ephemeral, transitionary space temporarily accessible during the process of node clipping. It is speculated to be the space in between all levels of the backrooms. Though this theory is shaky at best, it appears to be boundless in scale, lacking any visible spatial barriers. It is completely lightless and empty, lacking the visual auditory indicators of no one's location. Of one's location in its space. One that is completely isolated and alone. What is completely isolated alone in the void? It is currently unknown if it is statistically improbable to encounter other wanderers. Is statistically improbable to encounter other wanderers within other wanderers within due to its sheer scales. Or if everything is being experienced on their own, identically empty reality. The current accepted theory of node clipping, a means of temporary phasing that allows one to bypass the normal boundaries of spatial reality. In some cases, the laws of physics states that the maneuver functions via exploiting unstable sections of matter, especially in levels that are particularly volatile. The instability causes small sections of the surface to temporarily lose their physical boundaries, allowing objects and organisms to pass through them unimpeded, albeit for a small window of time. In most cases, successfully node clipping allows one to pass through said surface, thereby clipping them into another level. During this process, one will temporarily experience a period of darkness accompanied by a falling sensation. Reportedly, the period of time this occurrence lasts ranges from the instantaneous to 3 to 4 seconds at most. When this process was discovered and properly standardized under the title of node clipping, no explanation could be given pertaining to the small portion of wanderers that would go missing entirely after node clipping through the surface, prior to its few missing individuals that eventually turn from these disappearances. Prior to few missing individuals that eventually returned from these disappearances, it was not known where those who vanished would end up, or what became of them afterwards. From the collective experiences of those who eventually returned, however, it is understood that the period of darkness that occurred while node clipping was actually an empty extra spatial plane in between levels. Those who do not return after clipping through a surface likely do not gain enough momentum to travel from the void to their intended location, thus continuing to fall without end. An explanation as to how one would manage to exit this location and return to the state of reality remains divisive. All individuals who have returned after differing periods of falling through the void repeatedly through the void, reportedly lasting for a period of multiple hours up to self-described eons. All claim that they simply fell into another level from above. The explanation that levels are located somewhere in the void, anonymously remaining afloat in the empty abyss, would disprove the nation that they were all located in different planes of reality. and are instead located at a measurable distance from one another, negating much of the currently known information regarding spatial travel. In addition to serving as means of interlevel travel, it is speculated that no clipping through the solar surface may act as a viable, albeit temporary, localized source of energy. Depending on the initial conditions involving the performing of a successful no-clip, the current method of phasing through the solar surface can be difficult to discern. Sorry, I was trying to find my spot. I lost it. Requiring prior knowledge to one's intended exit point to properly time the jump and its angle. Furthermore, it is unknown how long a no-clip remains stable in its relation to the effects it has on its space. It has on space. Various instances have been observed in which a wanderer has severely misjudged their timing, prematurely ending in the temporary entanglement, leaving them attached to the surface, or even separating the wanderer in multiple sections. However, due to its recently established safety specifications and guidelines, this danger has largely rendered obsolete with those performing it incorrectly instead of landing in a far from their intended destination. The void is beautiful, a constant compete. This section is labeled Ode to Nil. The void is completely constant. Well, now I'm reading it. Okay, so the title is Ode to Nil. Then now I'm going to read the section. The void is beautiful, constant, complete. If there were such an idea as the purest thing in existence, it would surely fulfill that description. Free of corruption, falsehoods, instability, it does not change in the slightest from its boundless form, such as freeing, mind-opening experiences, falling through the lightness realm. Mind-opening experience falling through the lightness realm is constantly in its lack of quality, lasting as an unending island of peace in an ocean of chaos and disorder. Frankly, I was fearful when I fell slipping through the ground, only to continue falling through the chasm of nothingness is. Admittedly, a journeying experience, but after a relative eons of floating through its blind depths, I could not help but be aware of how foolish I once was. The void is a gift, a wonderful, unending paradise, vaguely remnants of one's where was I? A wonderful, unending paradise, vaguely reminiscent of one's prenatal experience. The void exists. I can't even talk today. The void exists as an idea, as a thoughtless body. It cannot be truly described or categorized beyond its lack of attributes. The innate truths behind it all were revealed to me. My path to enlightenment. Existing on the edge of eternity, I saw nothing. It was everything to me. I would look at the void, become the void. It became every particle of my being, except I was little more than a mere construct of my mind. As far as I knew, I dissolved into nothingness, as did the concept of time. My soul intermingled with the void, as I was the only individual to exist in the entire planet existence. It was ecstasy. I wanted to fall forever. I did not die, as my soul could not find a place to go. It was so afraid of something coming after me, an interruption to my unending peace. I could not have been more saddened and hopeless when I looked down into the yellow-tinted environment of the lobby, rapidly approaching from below me. I never wished to leave, having forced to. However, I now see my sole duty to inform others of the permanent, everlasting beauty of the void, in hopes that one may experience the Nirvana I once did.